Hi, all. The title of my book is Life Beyond Lies. Our life is surrounded by lies about success, money, work, about ourselves, job, study, religion, and relationships. How to say what is lie and what is truth? Lie needs to be told 1,000 times, should be imposed, needs to be shouted, while truth is silent, needs to be told once, and no need to force anyone to believe the truth. We live the lie and seek the truth. What is truth? Truth is something that doesn't change with the time, that is immortal, and it resides within us. Your true self is someone whom you see when you close your eyes. How you imagine and see yourself reflects into your outer environment. Your true self is mere reflection of your inner beliefs. We exist in three planes: plane of thoughts, plane of emotions, and plane of personality. To change your personality, you need to change your thoughts and emotions. You need to work on all the three planes to change your outer environment. Once upon a time, there was a prince. He was special and was gifted by God. He had everything. He was born with silver spoon, had good looks, good physique, and a powerful mind. He could see the future. He had great sixth sense. When he was a child, he could not understand languages, so he used to be very happy and enjoy his life. As he was growing up, he started paying attention to people's talk. He was listening to them. His life suddenly started to change. He developed depression at a young age. Fear, anger, jealousy started creeping into his heart. His gift of predicting future became dormant. He now doesn't pay attention to his inner gifts. So they started diminishing. He had everything, but he could not see it. He was now seeing him through the eyes of others. He started to feel worthless. His parents were rich and wealthy. They could afford all the treatment, but all in vain. His inner talk became about what other people think of him. As he grew, his mental condition worsened. He was scared of people judging him, so he always acted good and friendly on their face. Inside, he was angry and frustrated. People who knew him closely were aware of his true nature, but those who met him for the first time thought he is happy-go-lucky young man. Issue was that he wasn't able to suppress his anger for a longer period of time. As soon as something went wrong or opposite to his expectations, his anger used to burst out like a volcano. He was guilty and ashamed of his behavior, but he couldn't do anything. He had hidden his true self deep within him. He had no idea of his real self. He used to search happiness in fake friends, fake relationships, and his life was getting pathetic every day. The more he sought happiness outside, the more miserable and lonely his life became. He was living the lie told to him by others and was hiding true self inside him. He was aware of his gifts but was not knowing how to use it. His attention was not into his gifts but on pleasing people. The more he was into keeping others happy, the more people took advantage of him. His double-faced attitude affected his relationship with closed ones. People came to him only when they had some work. He was getting torn from all the sides. He got used to seeing reality from others' eyes. He was living the lies told by others to him. He believed the society's definition of success, money, work, and relationship. He followed path told by society to be a perfect man. He started acting in a way how others told him in order to become perfect son, perfect husband, perfect brother, and perfect lover. The more he tried to achieve perfection the way others defined to him, the more he got cut off from his true self. He was seeing his life from the other's lens. The more he focused on keeping others happy and satisfied, the more people betray his trust. He had no answers and direction in his life. He went on living the same life, not in a way that he wanted to live, but in a way that others told him to live. He tried to follow the rules set by his culture, his parents, his religion, and he just wanted to be a perfect into the people's eye. The more he listened to people's opinion, the more unworthy he found himself. He was listening to others more than himself. The rules caged him rather than freeing him. He was too obedient to his surroundings to look beyond all the lies that he himself built around him. He was scared that if he go against his culture that society built it for him, he might end up hurting someone. So he silently listened to everyone without any questions. Inside, he was desperate, so his outside world was miserable. There was intense desire within him to seek the truth, to know more, to expand and grow. Somewhere deep inside, he knew he is special, but he couldn't hear his own voice. Then one day he met a priest. He was passing through the jungle and there was a priest sitting and meditating. He went near the priest with folded hands and very politely greeted him. Priest opened his eyes and smiled at him. Prince invited him to his castle to take rest. Priest agreed, but on one condition, that he will not eat and drink anything inside castle. Prince was surprised at first and he requested priest to at least have some water, but priest politely refused. Prince had no choice, so he went ahead and agreed to all the priest's condition. They both arrived at the palace. Priest could sense the condition of the prince. He asked the prince to sit with him and close his eyes and say thank you to all the troubles, confusion and misery and problems of his life. Prince was astonished. He asked how to feel grateful for the problems of life and say thank you. Priest said to him, do it without asking any questions. He said if he doesn't feel good after saying thank you, then he could stop. Prince was confused at first, but he decided to give it a try. He closed his eyes and said thank you to all and everyone and everybody, to all his situation, good or bad. He asked God for his forgiveness and he forgave everyone around him, irrespective of however they treated him. Stream of tears started flowing out of his eyes. He started crying uncontrollably. When he opened his eyes, he was feeling good and positive. Prince thanked the priest for his advice. Priest then asked him to start journaling or writing about himself, about his life, about his future, and to write only positive things and to escape the negative part. Prince did exactly how the priest told him to do. He wrote about himself only positive things. Slowly his thoughts patterns started to change. Even in most negative situation, he was trying to find something positive and write it down. He started being more happy and blissful every day. Priest then asked him to help at least one person and feed at least one bird or animal daily. Prince would wake up every morning now and think about how to help someone today. Every day he would give some time or money to underprivileged. He would talk to them, spend time and feed them. He fed one animal and bird daily. He noticed he became more compassionate and kind. He could literally feel their pain. Now his depression vanished. He would think how much small his problems are compared to others. He started to feel more grateful for his life. Priest then asked him to write down all his future goals and carry it always with him and look at it every day. Prince wrote down all his goals in a piece of paper and carried it in his pocket every day. He made it a point to look at it as soon as he gets up and just before he sleeps. Now he doesn't pay attention to small and random talks. He thinks about ways to achieve his goal. He doesn't get involved in gossips and things which are not aligned to his goals. He got now burning desire to achieve his goals. He always wanted to become a singer, but his parents never allowed him to do so. They thought it is against their status. Prince is now nowhere focused about what people think about him. He is not bothered about their opinion and advice. He wants to pursue his goal of becoming singer. He made new friends. Most of his friends were singer. He developed new tribe and surrounded himself with positive people and high achievers. His way of talking about him and about his future changed. He never talks about himself and his future in a negative way. He became more optimistic. Instead of living in past, he now lives in future and keeps thinking and talking about it. The way he talks about him to himself also changed. He became more confident and daring to take risks, challenges and go against society. Next, the priest asked him to pray, but he told him to pray in a way imagining that his wishes are already fulfilled. He asked him to say thank you to God for making all his wishes fulfilled. This time Prince was speechless. He asked priest how could he pray and say thank you to God when he is so far from his goal. Isn't it like lying to yourself? Priest smiled and said, "Where the god resides, time doesn't exist." So, Prince has already achieved his goals in God's dimension. So, it is not a lie. He asked Prince to firmly believe that he has achieved his goals and say thanks to God. Prince prayed and said thanks to God every day for all his wishes getting fulfilled. Priest, after observing him that Prince is abiding all the things said by him, he called him one morning and asked him to simply sit with him in a silence. Priest at first thought it as a joke, but Priest was serious in his approach. So Prince closed his eyes. After some time, Prince became restless. He opened his eyes and asked Priest for how long he has to sit like that. Priest said, "Till it doesn't ask him to open his eyes." Prince was really uncomfortable now. The more he pushed his mind to be quiet, the more mind wandered. He started to feel anxious. His breath changed from slow to fast. He started sweating. All negative thoughts, past traumas start surfacing up. He was restless, anxious, stressed, and was also angry. Priest asked him to open his eyes. He opened it and said to Priest, "This is one of the most difficult things he has ever done till now. How could someone sit in silence without thinking about anything?" Priest now tells him to simply concentrate on his breath. If mind wanders, then bring it back and concentrate on his breath again. Prince followed this advice. Every time mind wanders somewhere, he used to bring it back to concentrate on his breath. Priest asked Prince to follow this method every day. Become conscious of his thoughts every time mind wanders off and bring it back to his breath. He asked him to follow it for at least 21 days. This really made Prince uncomfortable, but he decided to go for it. At first, it was really difficult to think about paying attention to thoughts, but with little practice, he started becoming aware of all his thoughts. He tried sitting in silence, simply paying attention to his breath. It did wonders for him. He became quiet and peaceful. He now observes more than to speak and react. He keeps note of all his thoughts, and as soon as any negative thoughts come to his mind, he catch it, stop it, and immediately start thinking about solution or some positive thing. So instead of feeling anxious due to negative thoughts or problem, he immediately starts looking for its solution. This way he gained control over his both his thoughts and emotions. The moment he learned to control his emotions, everything for him changed. His mood, personality, the way he speaks, feels, thinks and dress up, literally everything changed. Old friends doesn't recognize him anymore. If by chance he meets them, they will be surprised about his transformation. Prince, now against his parents' rule, started teaching young kids music for free. He sings for the village for free, arranges festivals, sings and dances there with them. First time, the parents were very angry about the prince dancing and singing with normal people, but on seeing his growing popularity among villagers, they decided to give it a chance. Prince quickly became favorite among villagers and people started liking him. He travels a lot now, go to nearby villages and teach them singing. Thus he could unite a lot of villagers. People came to listen to him and forget about their stress and anxiety and sing with him. He united a lot of villagers together like this and earned their respect. People not only love and respect him, they treat him like God. Something that he longed for so long from people around him now is coming to him so easily. Now he employed a lot of people under him and started running a chain of music schools exactly in a way he used to imagine about himself. It's almost past 42 days. Priest, as promised, did not eat and drink into his palace. Priest used to go with Prince twice a day into nature, walk barefoot, touch trees, rocks, water and soil. It was his way of connecting to Mother Nature. He said to Prince, always respect the Mother Earth. The priest came to Prince and announced that now it's time to go. Prince was really sad and asked him if he needs help, then where he is going to find. The priest said, all the answers lies within the superconscious. He needs to just connect to it. Lastly, Prince said to priest to give him a chance to serve him. He asked to Prince to make a cup of tea for him. and that will be the feast for his teaching. Prince for the first time entered into the kitchen and prepared something without any help. Prince then asked priest, he could have asked other things, but why did he choose a cup of tea? Priest said, there is a lesson into this too. Prince was very curious. Priest then clarified, any time in life if you feel depressed or unworthy, that time remember to serve others with whatever talent, passion and skill you have. In case you are not sure how to serve others, then learn something for others' sake. Life is easy and everything comes to you easily. Only matter is what you believe in. Success has a very different definition as to what described by society. It cannot be measured in terms of money, name and fame. Success is when you do what you love. The amount of passion you have for what you do determines your level of success. There is only one universal law for success. Do what you love. But there is another law that governs humans, that is the law of karma. Your actions should unite you with the God inside you. It should give you the freedom, but if you use this freedom to cause harm to someone or spread hate, you will be judged and punished accordingly. With these wise words, priest said goodbye to Prince. Hope my material will help you in your journey of self-discovery. Thank you.